Hello, child of God, I welcome you once again to Christ Without Borders. This is part 2 of your connection to spirit is your connection to wealth. So, like I was saying in the first one, in part 1, God gave Jacob one idea after he had been cheated for so long. By that idea God gave him, that creating a certain pattern or tying a certain thread, or making a certain pattern and putting it in front of the sheep that he was taking care of at the time by the water place. When they are taking the water, and as they meet by that thing he has created there, they will create after that same pattern. And this was how Jacob was able to become wealthy, and then was able to move away from his uncle's place, which was Laban. I can keep going on and on. I can go to Jacob's son Joseph. Even in prison, he was highly favored. Potiphar saw that in him. Even in prison, he was highly favored. And you see, if you look at the stories there in the Bible, it's telling you about something. And when the Bible tells you seek first, get closer to God, and then even seek the righteousness, seek first the kingdom of heaven and its righteousness. He knows what it's telling you. It's connecting to spirit, connecting to the Spirit of God. Very important in every believer's life. It's very important. Everything you do, if you want it to be successful, if you want it to be well established, always seek to connect to the Spirit of God. That is a problem the world is facing today. There are some people, when you talk about connecting to the Spirit, they look at you like some archaic human creature, And I mean, you don't blame them, because a lot of the things human beings, a lot of the things Christians interact with, a lot of the things you interact with are designed to let you forget that you are a spirit being and that you are of flesh. A lot of the things you interact with, a lot of things you deal with on a daily basis, those things are designed to make you think more in the carnal mind than from a spiritual dimension. So a lot of people get trapped in the physical dimension and think, hey, we are just human beings. You are not a human being. You are a spirit being. Because before you were formed in your mother's womb, God knew you. He knew where you were coming from. He knew your purpose. He knew your assignment. He knew why you were coming here. He knew the number of days you were going to spend here on earth. So why won't you go back to Him so that you can get clarity on what you are even actually supposed to do? You see people running around all over the place, doing all sorts of things. Why? Because they want to be famous. Why? Because they want wealth. But the Bible has told you, if you seek first the kingdom of heaven and its righteousness, all these things that people are chasing after, those things will chase after you. And when you position yourself and align yourself in a place where those things chase after you, you are going to have both of them. You are going to secure your ticket to heaven or to the new earth, for some of you believe in that, and have the fame, and have the influence, and have the money, and have a good health, and leave behind a good inheritance, an inheritance that you can actually transfer to the next generation. If you look at generational blessings, if you look at it closely, do you understand? If your purpose, if what you're doing is to break generational curses, what you really want to do is hand over generational blessings, you understand why you have to connect yourself to spirit. You have to come connect yourself to the right spirit for some of these things. Why? So that it becomes a blessing for generations and generations. But if you connect yourself to the wrong stuff, it's a big problem. It's a big problem. Maybe the first person who, I'm talking about people who decide to use the left route. Yes, maybe the first person who went and contacted themselves to this spirit, to that spirit, was able to obey, was disciplined enough to follow what was required to maintain that wealth when that person went to the left. But maybe your children will not be able to sustain that thing. Your children will not be able to have that discipline. Your children will not be able to even have that boldness and confidence to do whatever you are supposed to do to keep that wealth still flowing from the left side. Even if your children you gave birth to, somewhere you're able to raise them in a way that they are able to also continue that, doing what it takes to bring that wealth from the left side, which is the broad way. Your children's children, the third generation, might not be able to follow whatever procedure, whatever process that was laid there. And then it becomes a problem for all the generations that come after them. It becomes a curse for all the generations that come after. And if you look down here, there's a lot of the issues we go through. It's everywhere in the world. So stop chasing after physical things. Stop chasing after things and thinking everything is what you are seeing with your eyes. I keep talking about connecting yourself to the Holy Spirit. When you are connected to Him, look, everything that people are chasing after, fighting after, killing people for, and doing all sorts of things for, you will not have to do them. Because what? You are going to go through the right process. You're going to go through the right process. I can keep going on and on and on. We see a man like Job. Because of his heart, because of his dedication to God, God set a hedge of fire around him. And he was prosperous. People don't understand why people are struggling. You are struggling because there is certain things are able to affect whatever you are doing. But if you allow yourself to connect to Him and He sets the hedge of fire around you, everything will not have any excuse not to work. So Job, if you're a student of your word, God set a hedge of fire around Job, and nothing negative could attach itself or could affect anything that he owned. So what? Naturally, they were just multiplying. The devil went to God, and then God decided to take that hedge off. And we saw what happened. Even the story of Job should tell you clearly. The story of Job should tell you clearly how risky it is to not partner with God and not come into a true relationship. I'm not talking about religious stuff, trying to sit somewhere and thinking everything is working. I'm talking about having a personal relationship with God where He can talk to you, He can reveal what He has for you, He can reveal His plans for you, He can tell you what your purpose is, He can tell you what is about to happen in your life, He can warn you when things are about to happen in your life. Come into a true relationship with Him in your heart. That's what a lot of people are missing. True relationship in your heart, in truth, sincerity. That is a requirement to have that flow, that connection. The story of Job should be clear to everybody. That thing you think you are building, how dangerous it is if you are not properly connected yourself to God and know Him for yourself, and then He also know you. Because the enemy can come in and trash everything just in a matter of seconds. We saw what happened in Job. The moment God took the hedge of fire off, the moment God took that protection away, in one day, he lost everything he had.